you can always wonder, and it's like I'm like an asshole with it. It's like, you know, you can give somebody advice, and I'll be kind of iffy about giving people advice, because it's like, you can give somebody advice, but it's like, are they going to listen? And the second I hear that, I hear somebody else saying, well, it's not your job to wonder if they're going to listen or not. Just give it to them. And it's just like, I don't really, as much as I know, I don't like teaching. But if I could tell you anything, like, I tell you like this. It's not about what anybody else is doing or have going on. You know, as long as you're doing what you're doing because you love it and it makes you happy on the inside, you get that bubbly feeling like you want to go tell somebody, you know what I'm saying? And granted, we all rush to show somebody something, and they kind of sometimes shit on our dreams, and they, you know, it can fuck you up. It can. I feel like I've lived through a lot of things that people told me that I wouldn't be able to. I've made it through places that people told me I wouldn't be able to make it. And then when you do that so many times, you just look like, damn, what's really impossible? And then you look at the people who told you when you're at the summit and they're still at the bottom of the mountain where they was when they began to tell you that you couldn't make it to the top. Like, look at you. You know? You have to, one, know your value. Let's start that off. Like, we had like a number like, bing. One, know your value. Don't be afraid to tell somebody a price that you feel you deserve. But make sure that when you tell them this price, that it's not outside of what your abilities can do. I feel like what a lot of people do as creatives is undersell themselves because of what the market, which is, you know, the people who are buying shit, consumers, is demanding of what they want. And you subjugate yourself to this low-ass standard of a little bit of money. You're like, man, and then, you know what I'm saying, you go in and you do this job, and midway through the job, you're like, this shit goes hard. And all I did was charge this person X amount of money. And then now you're like, you know, you're mad at shit. You know, we all do it, but you have to know your value, and that means that you have to be transparent enough to understand what define value for yourself. Because as much as you can give value away, people can try to take value from you. There's people who are where you want to go, who you look up to, and you think, oh, you want to give this person all your burdens because you think they can come help take you out wherever you are. That eagerness gets taken advantage of real easily. People look at that mindset. There's people who just not creative at all, but they're in the creative industry. They're in the media, they're in the industry of arts, and they don't have a creative bone in their body. Nothing about them jiggles or wiggles or waves or nothing. These motherfuckers are about as stagnant as a board. But they do business with everybody else who's booming. And because they're this middleman, they're paying attention to the things that the creative is not. So, know your value. Two, do your own damn thing, but be realistic. And I obviously enjoy that for myself. When I look at back in like 2015, you know, when we used to be at Musa House, you know what I'm saying, with Malik the drummer, you know what I'm saying, Drew Davey, the squad, like we was on New York Ave doing it out there hustling like every Saturday, every weekend. Everybody was, whatever you did, we doing live paintings and we performing that same night. Like we doing everybody was there pushing their talent. And when you look at back then, from when I feel like I started recording music and taking my business, my life seriously with music, I remember I used to be in places and people would be watching fucking Derrick Rose dunk on niggas. And I'm sitting here, you know, I'm sitting here, I could be sitting here just, niggas don't care, you could be, now see, now when you do that, you do the rough shit, niggas are watching, they be there to make memes and shit out you, like, but that would be a funny meme. But you can be sitting there just, anyway, you could be doing some shit just like this and these motherfuckers be watching whatever. And in that moment, I could admit that, I always push through the performance. I'm not gonna stop singing, but it made me be like, all right, do I suck? Or is Derrick Rose just more relevant right now? Or am I just not giving people what they want? You know what I'm saying? You think about it, but I've always made music and stayed to Watu music. My vibe of music. I've always stayed to, you know what I'm saying, rhythm and percussion and whatever you want to call it, like just thinking outside the box and pushing the boundaries. I've stuck to that to the point to where it worked for me, so where it ain't hard. Like I'm making money to be me. And before it's like, you know, you're trying to show people who you are, and if you're trying to, you know what I'm saying, get rich off another nigga validation, you'll be broke your whole life. That's one for you. It's fun. I'm still growing, but it's way more confidence, it's way more understanding, and I know who I am, and I'm not. I don't wobble. I don't wave when somebody else, shoot their shit at me. I feel like instead of being specific, I will always try to point somebody in the direction that has the biggest yield for them. It's like, hey, I could tell you to become a better professional, but you trusting yourself will lead you to that position. I could tell you to, put time into whatever, or I could tell you, hey, go sign up to this here, go do this opportunity. But if you work on yourself, it's like, it inflates a compass inside of you that directs you. You can walk with your eyes closed, and you just always in the right place at the right time because you're pouring into the right cup and not, your cup. You're pouring into the cup, not your cup.